Hi, and welcome to what should be the ninth problem in the picoCTF 2018. CTF, that's capture the flag. We still have a few very easy problems to solve, but this one, the Crypto Warmup for 75 points, at least requires a little logical thinking, though not much. But we are going to walk through it because if you haven't done many of these problems before, you might get stuck. But when you've done it a few times, you get the hang of it. Here's the problem. Crypto, which is spelled wrong, can often be done by hand. Here's a message you got from a friend, LLK, and a bunch more letters, with the key of this is a little key. Can you use this table to solve it? So your friend has made a message for you, LLK, etc., and he or she has encrypted it with this key here. And your job is to decrypt it to find out what it says. And you need this table, right? Let's click on it and save it to your computer. I'm going to open it here. What you get here is an alphabet, and you can see it's repeated 26 times. The only difference is that for each row the alphabet is shifted once to the left. So the B in the first row, which is the second letter, is shifted once to the left, which means it's the first letter the second time around. You see? Now you can Google crypto and cipher and alphabet square and alphabet matrix, but you will still end up with a lot of names for different ciphers. But if you remember, we had a problem here before in resources, and it had a link here. We're going to open it in a new tab here. And this had resources also in cryptography. And when we open that, it starts off by explaining cryptography. Example ciphers, we have Caesar cipher, we have affine cipher, and we have Vigenère cipher. And you'll have to go through them, but when you do that, sooner or later you're going to end up with Vigenère cipher. And here is a really good article. We're going to open that, and here comes an alphabet. Looks exactly the same. So we're going to go with the Vigenère cipher. I'm going to explain a little bit here. Your friend had already written a text, which we call plain text, okay? But before we get that far, let's say you wrote a text. You make up a key, which can be a word or a phrase. There's much more to this, but not at this level. And you can call the key secure. And the plain text, which is the message you're sending to your friend now, it starts with the country you currently live in. As for me, that will be Norway. So secure here has 6 letters, and Norway has 6 letters. But what if you live in the United States and you use USA? Well, if you use USA, then you would use the key here, you would use SEC for USA, and then you would just stop and you would not use the URE, just the SEC, right? 3 letters for the key and 3 letters for your country. Now if you live in the Philippines, that's much more letters. So then you would just continue, so secure, and then you would just continue with secure and secure and secure until your country is finished. So for the Philippines, you would have secure, and then you would start with SEC again over here until you had the same amount of letters in your plain text as your key. I'm mentioning the Philippines here because apart from the United States, my videos are mainly watched in India and the Philippines. Anyway, on our left side here we have our keyword, and on the top here we have the plain text. So we start out with the S here in our key, and we have that here. That's our S. And the plain text starts with Norway in my case, and that's an N. And that will be here. And then you coordinate these. And when you do, you'll end up with an F here. And the same thing with the E in our key. That's here. And then we have O in Norway, which is here. And when we coordinate these, we see we get an S. And that's how you make the ciphertext. So our ciphertext, or our scrambled text here, starts with F and S. And then you can just fill in the rest for your country. Now, if you want to reverse this, or decipher it, or descramble it, you still have your key here, and then you have your ciphertext. And what you want here is the plain text, or you want your message back, right? And in that case, you still start with the key, which starts with S for secure. And what we have here is our ciphertext, which is the F. When we follow that all the way up to the column, we get to the N, which is the plain text N for Norway. And that's actually the way we do this. So back to the problem at hand here, which is the Crypto Warmup 1. We have the key, which is this is a little key. And we have the ciphertext, which is LLK, and a bunch more letters here, which are just scrambled. They don't really make much sense. And if we start with the key, we have the T here in our keyword. And we have an L in our cipher, which should be here. And that brings us up to S in our plain text, right? The T right above the L and right above the S. And then we have H in our key, and also an L, which is here, right? The alphabets shift to the left, and that gives us an E and an I in our keyword here, and that should give us a K, which is here, and that brings us up to the plain text on a C. And the rest you can fill out here, right? But we know it starts with S, E, and C. Wikipedia actually has a very good article on the Vigenary cipher and explains the method of decrypting this. And there are online programs that will do this for you. On this one, we need to go in on the hints here, because it says please use all caps for the message, and that's the message inside the brackets. So We'll start off with pico and then CTF in capital letters, our bracket, and then secret message, which was the plain text, closing bracket, and submit. And it's now solved. Hope you had some fun doing this and learned a little bit at the same time. Until next time.